I got to double check everything because I don't know. I don't know if are you 100%, does it sound good? It's like, I have to do everything. Vicky's not here. I come in, you're supposed to be ready. It's 8:03, and I had to literally set up everything. The only one that did her job was Sophia. Do I sound good, Sophia? It sounds good? I don't know what, you've been here for hours. Hours you've been here. I don't understand. And the thing is that I love working with you, but at some point, you should be able to come in and go, everything is set. Now, are you sure you're recording? Because we're going to edit and chop this up later. You need to have it. So I'm Vinny Brandt. This is a live stream. Vicky is not here yet. She'll be here later. Our guest is here. My wife is not here. All the people, we're in my basement, and all the people were here before us. The house was just open. Our guest came in. Sophie was here, almost got eaten by our dogs. And Noah was here. I said to Noah, don't let Sophia come in upstairs because the pit bulls will eat her alive. We've got pit bulls. And I'm upstairs. I'm getting ready. I'm taking a shower. And I hear my dogs go ballistic. And I'm like, that's not good. And I come downstairs. And there's Sophia. And the dogs are around her. And you were a little nervous, right? A little bit.
Two of them were nice. One of them was...
Yeah, one of them is super nasty. And let me tell you what happens. If the nice one sees the nasty one attack, then the nice one goes, oh, I'm also a pit bull. This is what I should be doing. I should not be nice. I should also eat this human being. That's the problem. And Noah says to me, this is what Noah says. I go, did you let Sophia come in? Yeah, well, I told her. I'm like, she's in. Almost eaten alive. Anyway, I'm glad you're not dead. I have to say something. And I get to do this tonight because Vicky's not here. First of all, can I show everyone where you have a video? The video, okay. Huh? Okay, so Noah fucked up the video too. All right, so there's a video that you don't get to see because of Noah. I can't help you. I can't help you. Noah, if you, listen, right now, I'm putting it out there. If you know how to do this, if you have a brain and you want to do this work, contact Noah. I'm going to give him Noah's phone number and say, Noah, I'm your replacement. And Noah, I'm going to make you hire your own replacement. Anyway, so Vicky's at a Harlem Wizard basketball game with my 9-year-old. It's a charity event. It's the Middletown Teachers playing the Harlem Wizards. Take a guess who's winning that matchup. Oh my God, I saw some of the most ridiculous shots and great fun. So Vicky's there. You got me alone. But that means I get to talk about something I never get to talk about when Vicky's not here. And that is a little bit of politics. A little bit of politics. Let's start here. Okay, gas prices. I'm tired of hearing about it. Do you have anything on gas prices?
We're going to edit it in after.
Huh?
Edit it in after.
Oh, okay. So, Sophia, thank you. What do you got for me? Oh, you took my pen. So, Sophia, could you go in there and get me a Stella or a Heineken or something and open it up right there with the bottle opener? Let me tell you this. Gas is expensive. And again, the politicians of our country are blaming the other guy. I am so tired of hearing which side thinks the other side's to blame and how they're going to. You can't. Because let me tell you why. Because the politicians of this country, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying 99% of them. And if you're a politician watching, ask yourself, am I in that 99% that Vinny's talking about? 99% of you have one desire, to get re-elected and get your friends elected. So when you talk about gas prices and you start saying, well, it's the Democrats' fault, it's the Republicans' fault, I got news for you. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody believes you anymore. Very few people. Chris, you're not on yet. Do you believe the politicians? No, Chris does not. Noah, do you? No, Noah does not. Sophia, do you? 17-year-old kid doesn't even know what a politician is because you're irrelevant. You know, during the pandemic, let me tell you something during the pandemic. During the pandemic, we've donated money to a couple different politicians throughout the years. You know, I call it get out of trouble money in case I get like a DUI. I got my own I own somebody. Someone to help me get out of trouble. Thank you, Sophia. Sophia, bring me my beer. Tip the waitress. That's what I would say. Anyway, I donate to a couple different guys. And usually it's the guys that I know or like or whatever. All right. Now, I lost my train of thought. During the pandemic, when the politicians, I know what I was going to say. So because I donated to one guy, his team, let's say I donated one time to Cory Booker. Let's say that happened one time, that I gave money to Cory Booker. If you look up the records, you will see that I did. By the way, very few people on this planet care more than Cory Booker about Cory Booker. Cory Booker cares more about Cory Booker than Mrs. Booker, his mother. All right. Now, anyway, I gave money to Cory Booker. And so now I get emails from all the Democrats because they assume I'm a Democrat. If I give money to whomever, let's say, we'll use someone I didn't give money to, Mitch McConnell. Well, now the Republicans know that I'm a Republican. And so you get inundated nonstop. So here comes the pandemic and the world gets shut down. They shut the world down. Here in New Jersey, restaurants were closed. Connecticut, restaurants were closed. Our club was closed. Do you know that during that pandemic, not one team stopped asking for money? So you knew you were killing people. You knew, and I mean literally in some cases, you were hammering people into financial ruin, and not one time, I know it's supposed to be funny, but not one time did they stop asking for money. And I'm like, how? How is that? Because that's the main goal. Noah, Sophia, Google for me, during the 2021 fundraising season, how much money did the two political parties raise for their respective parties in 2021? See if you can find that statistic for me. This is during the height of the shutdown, during the height of people not working, when they had parks closed at one point after our parks were closed. Are you Googling that for me, Sophia? You're going to see not one time. And it pisses me off. And now with the gas, all right, the gas price is what it is. All right, you shut down the pipelines from Canada. I don't know if it's right or wrong. All I know is it seems like we have more oil coming in, we'd have more money or more gas or whatever. But doesn't matter. Here's what the politicians are doing now to help us, the common folk, deal with the price of gas. They're giving us suggestions. They're giving us suggestions. Sophia, did you put any suggestions aside for me, like I asked? No. Okay, I don't know what they did while I was watching the basketball game, but Chris, it's amazing. I have Noah and an intern. I think they were playing video games while I was gone. You didn't find out any suggestions? Did Noah tell you to do that?
I could give you suggestions right off the bat.
Huh?
The carpool.
Yeah, I gave you that. Noah's giving me here's what the politician said. Shut up, Noah. Here's what the politician said to help you manage in the gas crunch. One of the suggestions was keep your tires inflated. What? That's what you're telling us? Everyone knows to keep your tires inflated. What are you going to do? You're going to get an extra 1/100th of a foot in gas mileage for inflated tires? Here's another one they gave you. Drive less. Holy shit. That's not saving money on gas. That's driving less. It's a different concept altogether. It's like saying if you want to save money on popcorn, don't go to the movies. Dumb. Then my favorite, and I already said it, carpool. Carpool. Listen, stealth Omicron is out there. So the top thing says, the top suggestion says carpool. Right underneath that, stealth Omicron is the second highest leading Omicron COVID in the country. So now they're going to carpool and do what? Carpool on your way to the hospital? Is that the idea, Noah? Am I screaming too much? I think I'm screaming too much. But this is my point. What are the other suggestions you came up with, Noah, that they said to save money during the gas crisis?
Keep windows closed.
What's that?
Keep windows closed.
Keep your windows closed. It's okay. To what? To reduce drag?
I don't know.
Give me another one, Sophia. You're finally working. Keep your windows closed.
Slide into your
Sophia, get over here next to me. Get on camera. People want to meet Sophia anyway. They don't think she exists. This is Sophia, everybody. Jump on the camera there, okay? Get a close-up of Sophia. Sophia is a 17-year-old senior at Middletown High School North.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Going to college next year?
Yeah.
Did you find out where you're going yet?
No, not yet.
Do you know where you want to go?
No.
Can you thought about Michigan?
No.
Why?
No.
My kids go to
cold.
Michigan. It's
Cold
not
and
cold. It's
far.
just like New Jersey. Besides, if it's cold, keep the windows up. What else did they tell you, Sophia, in the tips?
Keep your tires rotated.
Keep your tires rotated. Yeah, save money on gas. Save 21 cents a tank full by paying Firestone $400 to rotate your tires. Good thinking. What else?
Yeah. Avoid excessive idling.
What?
Excessive idling.
Avoid excessive idling. Also impossible to do because for reasons no one can still figure out, New Jersey still has actual toll booths that you have to go through that slow you down. What else?
Let's see.
Buy a Tesla.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Buy a Tesla.
What is it?
Buy.
A Tesla.
Is that one of the suggestions? One of the suggestions to save 50 cents on gas. Just pop 100 grand out to buy the Tesla. By the way, there's a 4-month wait. So you're not saving that money tomorrow. So hitchhike. Only with people that own Teslas, I imagine. What else? So buy a Tesla. What else, Noah? Sophia?
I'm finding them.
You're finding them?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been a good idea to
How
find
about
them?
you come up with something? You come up with something. What's a good
what
way
I
to-
came up with was the idea to have an intern that would do this shit for me. That's what I came up with.
You're gonna get fired from your unpaid gig.
Huh?
You're gonna get fired
Yeah.
from your unpaid job.
Yeah, her unpaid internship. She's going to get paid, by the way. Vicky and I are picking out something nice to get her. We don't know what we're going to get her yet. Maybe a better work ethic. We're chipping in to buy Sophia a work ethic. What else?
Okay. Always park your vehicle atop a hill or a ski ramp so you can get the car rolling.
Oh, wait, let me read that. Let me read that. Oh, okay, where does it say that? Show me.
Right here.
If you can, always park your car atop a hill or on a ski ramp so you can get this car rolling without any gas at all. This is absolutely amazing. You do know that you must first drive to the top of the hill, burning gas on the way up. This is amazing. Are these from politicians?
I don't know.
Okay, wait, let me read this one. Don't waste gas by revving your engine. Because people do that still. When you're out there like, vroom, vroom, and you look next door to the driver next to you, vroom, this is 1958. We're at the drag race. Okay, let's see. Place 2 or 3 grapes or a generously frosted cupcake. This is bullshit, right? These are funny.
okay.
This is meant to be. Wait,
better.
I gotta read it.
Okay.
Place 2 or 3 grapes or a generously frosted cupcake. This is bullshit. Between your foot and the pedal to moderate pressure. This is just silly, right?
Yeah. silly.
Okay, these are all silly. Okay, yeah, this is silly. Avoid stop and go driving. Fill your tank halfway. This Anthony Radea talked about this. They say to save money, fill your tank halfway. Now, let me tell you why that's stupid. A, you're not saving any money. And B, the way gas prices are going up, if you fill up halfway, next time you go back, you're going to pay a higher amount for the second half. Let me tell you the right ways to save gas. Because I had to save gas during the great gas crisis, all right? Because I wasn't old enough to drive, but my parents, I was pumping gas during the odd and even days. Okay, you know what that is? Sophia, there was a time in this country where you could only get gas on even days if your license plate was an even. So if you ended with a 4, that's an even number, and a 3 is a
Yeah.
odd number. Very good, Sophia.
Thank you.
Michigan, not beyond your reach. Now, so what happened is you could only get gas on those days. And then you could only get a certain amount of gas. It was all rationed out. Gas at the time was about 70 cents a gallon, I think. It was cheap. Anyway, what people did, it's the best way to save money on gas. They would get a garden hose, and they would go out late at night to the neighbor's house, and you would bring a 5-gallon can. You know this, Chris? And they would stick the hose into the neighbor's gas tank and then suck on it to begin what was called a siphon. And they would siphon the gas into the gas can. That's the best way to save on gas. It's a siphon or steal it. What other ways, Sophia?
Okay. Aerodynamics. Check the direction of the wind. Drive with the wind pushing you, not into it.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that real? That can't be real. That can't be real.
Using a sail.
Where? Yeah. You want to go to the movies? We can't. We have to go to Home Depot. Wind's in the wrong direction, kids.
Using a sail is not recommended and is very distracting and can work against you in a tornado.
Oh, these are silly. What else you got?
Yeah, roll windows down. It just said to keep your windows closed. What?
Yeah, roll your windows down. They're going to say to catch wind. Windows down if you're going into the wind. If you're with the wind, up into the wind, down with the wind. Is what they're going to say. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you something. I started going off on politicians here. All right, if you're a politician, stop asking people for money. Right? I will vote for the next politician that says, this is so-and-so, I'm running for this office or that office, that office. Instead of giving me the money, I want you to give the money to the food bank. I would vote for that guy. Would you vote for that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Are you a Democrat or Republican?
None of the above.
What are you?
I don't know. What
Communist?
I don't vote yet. How do I know?
You got to pick a side. You can't just go in and say, yeah, okay?
I don't know.
Homecoming contest.
You got to know what you want before you get there.
I'll figure it out. There's not another major election for a while, so I have time.
I'm getting schooled by a 17-year-old kid. What the hell's going on here? All right, Sophia. Any other suggestions on the gas?
No.
No? Do you enjoy working on the podcast?
It's very fun.
So what are we doing tomorrow?
We're doing martial arts.
We're doing martial arts, right? We're going to go
Yeah.
learn some. Are you going to learn something?
Sure, yeah.
I think I would love to see you drop kick Noah.
Okay.
If you can kick Noah's ass.
This is Aikido, though. It's more peaceful. But no, you'll still like it, though.
Peaceful martial arts? What is that?
Well, that's what you got, okay? I texted
Who the
Vicky.
hell?
She said it was fine.
I
She
said
liked
I
it.
wanted to.
I know this guy. I used to do this.
You used to
You'll
do
like it.
Aikido?
Yeah.
So tell me something. Someone's attacking you. How do you peacefully stop them?
No. It's more about the.
Is this it? What you're doing is wrong. You should reconsider. What do you do?
No, you'll see. You'll see. Stay tuned tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's going to be recorded.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is a art form you've taken?
Yeah.
Were you
when
a black belt?
I don't know. I forget. It was when I was really little. So.
It's going to be a complete waste of time.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You like it. It's cool. It's in an actual dojo. It's not like one of those gyms.
A dojo?
Yeah. A dojo.
What is that?
A dojo. Karate dojo.
What's a dojo?
It's like a special gym.
What is a dojo?
You'll figure it out tomorrow.
No, tell me what
Thank
a dojo
you.
is. I can't believe our whole staff is so rude to me. I don't know what a dojo is anymore. What's the dojo, Noah?
Dojo is where you practice your martial arts.
Huh?
Where you practice your martial arts. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Feng shui that goes into a dojo.
A lot of what?
Feng shui. Feng shui.
Feng shui?
Feng shui. Feng shui.
I thought feng shui is when you threw shit out.
Well, I think that's when you go through your shit, so that way your areas, you're at more peace with it.
More peace with your area? I got to tell you something. The fact that Americans waste their time with this, I am really concerned about the future of our country because you shouldn't know what a dojo is. You shouldn't feng shui anything. All right? Let's talk for a second about bullying. All right? Because I am a product of bullying. I was bullied as a kid, and it never bothered me. I always considered it kid coaching because kids told you without a filter what was wrong with you, right? That's why, if you're around a bunch of parents, a parent will say to you, oh, let's just say you're an ugly kid, right? An ugly kid, and you don't brush your teeth, and you go over your friend's house. The friend's mother will say, good to see you, Johnny. It's nice. Would you like a cupcake? Whereas your friend will say, Johnny, have you thought about brushing your teeth? You got ass breath. And Johnny, why don't you not have a cupcake? You're already fat. And that's how, no, it's not bullying. That's the truth that you need to hear to get better. You don't believe that would work?
I mean, it has. There's very strong people of your age right now.
All right, let me say it a different way. Yes or no, do you agree with this? Everybody on the planet needs to step up their game and get better. I'm not perfect. You lose sight of that because I'm so close. But everybody needs to get better, right? So if I were to say to Sophia, get better at X, Y, or Z, she's 17 years old. She should know that I know more than her and she can get better. So I don't think that should be considered bullying. We got to stop telling people you're okay the way you are.
There's a difference between constructive criticism and
Why don't you shut up? Why don't you shut up, child? Get over here. Get on camera for a minute. I'm going to help you with some constructive criticism. Sit down next to me. I'm going to help you with some constructive criticism. Say what you just said in the microphone. Okay, if I say, hey, Johnny, your teeth are rotten, you should consider brushing them. You don't think that's constructive?
No, it depends. If his teeth are rotten, I feel like.
How would you tell someone who desperately needed to floss their teeth?
I don't know. That's a tough one. You got to be honest. It depends on your relationship with them, I feel like. If
Okay.
you're just a random person walking up to them saying, like, you have shit in your teeth, like, I feel like. That's
Okay, we're talking about a friend, someone
Okay.
you know, someone in school.
Then you have to be honest with them.
Huh?
You have to be honest with them.
How would you say it?
Like,
Okay, say someone has bad breath. How would you say, would you like a Tic Tac?
well, you just offer it. I don't know. Maybe to a group of people. If you're in a group, you could just offer it to everyone and, like,
And then when you get to that person, what would you say?
yeah, here's two. Yeah, that's a good one.
Would you like a case of Tic Tacs? Take these home.
Or for their birthday, you just get them a pack of gum and, like,
So
go for
that's
it.
okay,
Yeah.
but you're
Maybe.
being so indirect. Maybe the kid thinks you're being, why wouldn't you just say to somebody, pull them aside and say, listen, you stink. Now, I got a kid at my club, all right, and he consistently has bad breath. And I said to him, hey, eat this gum, okay? And I said, you need this gum, your breath stinks. And he takes the gum. And I say to him, and if my breath stinks, just tell me, because I would want you to tell me, if you had a booger hanging out of your nose, wouldn't you want someone to say, Sophia, you got a gigantic booger hanging out of your nose?
Yeah, I feel like that's a temporary thing. There's a difference between, like, something you could change in 5 seconds. Like, I would tell someone if you could change it in, like, 10 seconds. But if they can't and it's permanent, you don't talk about it.
Okay, what about someone who's very, very obese?
Well, they can't do anything about it. Like,
What do you mean you
I mean,
can't
they
do
can
anything
work
about
out.
it? What is wrong with you?
They can. Not in, if they can't fix it in, like, 5 seconds, then you can't mention it. Like,
Oh my God!
I mean, it depends. There's different things.
Wait a second. What if you were to say to somebody, you know, I really like you, and I can tell from your
But you're fat.
probable cholesterol that I'm not going to have to buy you a Christmas present in 3 years. You need to lose weight.
Are you a doctor, though? Are you qualified to say that? What if they're happy with their weight? Like, what
Oh
if they're-
my God, that's the whole thing. You're not supposed to be happy. I already said that. That's the problem.
So if you're fat, you're not happy, right?
No, you shouldn't be happy. If you're fat, you should say to yourself, I'm not happy. I need to lose a couple pounds because I might die. If you're fat and happy, you should want to lose weight because you won't be happy when you're dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so there's two types of people in the world. All right, and I want to know which one you are. If I had a booger hanging out of my nose,
Yeah.
what would you say to me?
I would tell you.
How would you tell me?
I would just say it straight out because you're you and I'm, like, with our relationship.
Well, yeah, exactly. Tell me how you would say it.
Like, hey, you have something on your nose. Like,
Something in your nose.
Like-
you have
you have.
you have some
fat
nose
booger.
filet mignon. Okay, listen.
Fat the kid.
I'm a big person. I believe in this because okay, there's two types. Like Chris, our guest, he will not say anything, and then when you walk away, he'll say to all your friends, "Did you see that piece of booger hanging out of Sophia's face?" That's what Chris does, and that's why Chris is what I call a scumbag. Now me, I will tell you, right? Hey, get that crap out of your nose, or you got bad breath, right?
Well, you like confrontation. He doesn't, I guess. Like,
I think Chris likes confrontation
just
behind
not in
your
that
back.
way.
That's not confrontation. So do you believe in any, okay, what's bullying?
Bullying? What?
Let me, okay, you know what we're gonna do? This is off topic, but stay with us for a minute. We're gonna ask Sophia some quick questions. And you can't be wrong on these.
Okay.
You're 17 years old, you can't be wrong.
Got it.
But the questions are gonna be uncomfortable. All right? Intentionally.
bullying?
Huh?
About bullying?
Well, no, they're gonna be uncomfortable questions.
I don't. What are you gonna ask? Don't ask.
I'll
me
save
no
this for
more.
another segment.
Don't-
It'll be too long.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Sophia next week 5 uncomfortable questions.
Well, how about you give them to me first so I can prepare answers?
No, that doesn't make, they're not
Because
uncomfortable.
then I'm
then.
not gonna know what to say.
Huh?
I'm not gonna know what to say.
She's uncomfortable.
That's
I'm
the whole point.
uncomfortable with the uncomfortability
You have
of
to
not
speak
knowing.
uncomfortably. I'll just ask you one now. I don't know where I am on the issue. Where are you on the UPenn swimmer that just won the
I
women's.
was just talking about this actually.
Tell me.
In school. Should I actually say my opinion? I feel like it's unfair that she's swimming on the girls' team. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Like you can't compare a male like physique to a female physique, and it doesn't. No, not fair.
Right. In other words, so what you're saying is, if you were what they're now calling a natural-born male that became a female.
Yeah, it's nothing about the transgender thing. They're trying to make it about like, oh my God, transgender. And she's trying to make it a sob story about like, oh, like I'm really comfortable in my skin now. This is like supposed to be like a cute little story. It's not about that at all. It's just not fair. She's breaking all these records by like countless seconds, and it's not fair.
By how many seconds?
By a lot of
a lot of seconds.
Shooting them like she's all the way at the end of the pool when everyone else is back here. It's like,
well, the race. She finished the race on Monday. The rest of the meet came in Tuesday morning early. Yes. So I don't think it's fair either.
Yeah, it's not.
And do you think that it is an attack on female sports, natural-born female sports?
What do you mean?
Well, in other words, okay. So, sports are always divided by age, by weight, by all these divisions in order to make it fair. Now, you're 17. I'm older than 17. So if we did a road race, you would not be in my age group because I would crush you.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's separated into female and male. There's a reason.
Well, but what I mean is they're divided by age, gender. Mm-hmm. Wrestling is divided by weight. Okay. Basketball is divided by height. I think. It's not. That's a joke. No. But the point is everything's divided in order to make it fair. Mm-hmm. So the female athlete is not as strong as the male athlete.
Yeah.
On whole.
Not strong is the wrong word. You just have a different build. Like
strength is the okay
females and
word.
Males have different they're structured differently.
Here, I'm going to say it in a way that I think even you can admit. So if I ran against the top female 59-year-old runner, the top female 59-year-old runner.
Yeah.
She would likely crush me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the top 59-year-old male runner.
Yeah.
So if I became a female athlete, odds are I would beat more females relative to the number of males I was able to beat, but the top ones would still crush me. Right?
Yeah.
Like Billie Jean King would have beat me in tennis. Now, so that's a division. Mm-hmm. So if you let men that become women compete in sports, that's an attack on natural-born women's sports.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just like, let's just say women were allowed to hold public office. It's not fair. Women would not be able to do as well in public office, right?
I guess so. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm kind of disagreeing with you now. Pretend I didn't say that.
Oh my God.
He's talking too much, so I'm kind of not listening anymore, just to be honest.
Sophia, so women shouldn't,
sometimes when you talk for too long, I don't listen all the way. So
that's okay, that's okay. But you would say women should not be allowed to vote.
No, that's not true.
So wait a minute. If they can't hold public office, they shouldn't.
No, I was not listening to what you said.
What do you mean?
I take back my answer, and I say that's not
true. I'm gonna cough my COVID lungs out. All right, Sophia. Women can hold public office. In fact, let's see how smart you are. Who's the vice president right now?
Kamala Harris.
All right, good deal. And she's a woman.
Yeah.
And that's a public office.
Yeah?
Yeah, she holds it.
I take back what I said.
Who is Lieutenant Governor of New Jersey right now?
Lieutenant Governor?
Yeah.
Like the governor? I don't know.
Okay, that's right. Most people don't know. Do you know who it is? Chris, you? That's amazing.
Lieutenant Governor?
Lieutenant Governor. We didn't have a Lieutenant Governor for that many years. But the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver.
Never heard of that person.
A northern Democrat, I believe. Sheila Oliver came from up north. All right, so let's get to our guest. You were so much fun. And I have to tell you something. The clip that women should not hold office is going to play over and over again. I think I've given myself a hernia laughing so hard. Thank you very much, Sophia. Very funny.
Thank you.
Sophia the
Good
intern,
luck.
everybody, who will be applying to university next year with the mistaken belief that women should not be holding public office. I can't wait. I hope that her college admission, like there's a college admissions officer going, well, take a look at some of the extracurricular work she did. And they play that clip and she gets bounced out. All right, so let's get our guest on. I'm excited to do this.
Ronald Ginsburg said I'm a great intern.
You what?
Someone said I'm a great
Ronald
intern.
Ginsburg.
Yeah, a great listener. I think Ron might. Oh, intern. Yeah, you're a great intern. Anyone that thinks that women shouldn't be allowed to hold office can work with me. I can't wait to play that for Vicky. All right. So our next guest is he's got a long list of things. All right. So he's a comic. Also works with AEG, right? You still there? Yes. Doing all kinds of concert-related items. But his first love is stand-up comedy, and he's really funny. And he's worked with some amazing shows. He was on the Howard Stern Killers of Comedy Tour, the Best Damn Comedy Show comedy tour. He did, and I actually saw him do one of these. He warmed up the Impractical Jokers Arena Tour. That is really hard to do, and he killed it. He's on the Killers of Comedy Tour with Bob Levy, Jim Florentine, and Beetlejuice. Worked at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, the Borgata and Hard Rock in Atlantic City, the Greek Theater in LA, the Prudential Center in New Jersey with the Jokers, I believe, right? He has upcoming projects, Impractical Joke, which you're doing with Sal, right? Is that right?
I'm on the road with Sal.
I'm sorry?
Yep.
You're on the road with Sal Volcano, one of our Impractical Joker friends, who's also funny. Worked at City Steam Hartford, which I did 100 years ago. Social media is Chris J. Comedy. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please welcome tonight's guest, Chris Johnston, everybody. Chris Johnston. Oh my God, would you like a cold beer?
Yeah, I would love one.
You know what? I don't believe that men should have to do stuff like this. Sophia, fetch a beer.
I like how you got a colony of youngsters working in the basement of your house with dogs attacking them,
Hey, don't
conning them into not believing that women should be worth anything.
It's the best thing in the world.
On
When we're-
Aneurysm Tuesday.
And let me
Look
tell
at
you the best part, Chris. When we're done, you throw the bottles. I have Sophia
you
clean
go.
them up. So what? I'm only kidding, Sophia. What kind of beer do you want?
That's fine. Stella's great.
Stella. Thank you, Sophia. So, this is the first time at my house.
First time in your house, yeah. I didn't get to see the whole thing. They made me come into the garage, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm
You're
allergic to dogs.
You're the first guest that we made come in through the garage.
Thanks.
And I think that was on purpose.
No, well, the valet guy, it's a beautiful house. The valet guy moved my car into a nice spot.
Do you like this is a good basement,
This is
right?
amazing. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
I love this basement.
This is great. Got a Bruce guitar. It's it's something special here.
This is my little man cave.
Yeah. Are you allowed upstairs or no? Are you allowed upstairs or no?
I am allowed upstairs, but I prefer to be down here.
Okay.
I mean, this is where I like to be. I mean,
Nice.
this is where everything
I feel
this
like you
is-
could get lost in this house. Like people cannot know you're here.
I can get lost in.
You
the
can
house.
get
It's not that big. It's just the little nooks and crannies.
There's like a bridge over like you could come through. Oh, I had to walk through a bridge over like rocks. There's like a pond in the back.
There's a creek.
You had like 3 gallons of gas I borrowed.
3 what?
I siphoned. No.
No.
Thank you.
So Chris, and I'm sorry, I have the remnants of this cold, which by the way, I am enjoying because we're kind of post-pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying post-pandemic because, I got a little cold, but during the pandemic, you weren't allowed to go out and spread that around. I enjoy just going out there and
Just spreading it around.
give what I got to
Get
whoever
out there and
wants it.
spread it.
Give whoever I got to whoever wants it. And, so now I have a little cold, so I apologize. My throat's also sore, but that's from the...
I got all the symptoms, but it's nothing. Nothing at all.
My throat is sore.
I don't think anybody gives a shit anymore. I don't know. Some people do, but I mean, unless you're gasping and you need oxygen, are you even going to test anymore or anything? Do you? I'm just like, nah.
Oh, I never understood testing anyway. And I'll tell you why. Oh, you got to get tested. I got it. Oh my God, doctor, I got Omicron. All right, stay home. I mean, if you were sick with a fever, you were staying home anyway.
Well, the simple fact that you, I mean, again, I'm not shitting on anything, but the simple fact that you had to go out and search to see if you had something, like you should check because you might. I got home, I had it on New Year's Day. I came home from tour with Sal and Chris DiStefano, and it was a great tour. Came home, had a sore throat, a little bit of congestion. She's like, you should take a test just to see. I'm like, but I feel fine. And then I took a test, and obviously I was, and had to quarantine, and then my kids ended up getting it. My wife never got it. But none of us had it severe. I mean, it was just like, okay, we had it.
You vaccinated?
Yeah, I'm triple vaxxed.
Triple vaxxed.
Still got it.
I'm vaxxed, and I never got it. My daughter had it, my 9-year-old, and she's 9, so she doesn't feel good. And she's like, why? Can I sleep in your bed? And I'm like, absolutely. And my wife's like, you're going to get it. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's my kid.
Yeah, for sure. That's the same boat. My kids were going to school, coming back, and feeling like shit regularly. And these are my kids. If they're going to get it, I'm going to get it.
Well, that's the thing. You can't tell your kid, go you're going to go live in the basement.
I did, but, I don't have a basement like this either. It was an old basement.
I got to tell you, I'm so tired of it, but I'm glad now, and I'm apologizing for having a bit of a cold. So, you're out on tour with the Jokers.
Well, yeah, right now with, I've been doing shows with Sal a bunch, and I've been doing stuff with Joe Gatto recently.
Joe's coming to the club in July.
Nice.
Are you on the show?
I don't know yet. I just did the Paramount in Huntington, New York with him Sunday, and it was phenomenal.
They're all the nicest guys.
Yep, they're great.
They're great guys. You've been with them for how long?
I don't know, man. It's got to be 8-10 years. I'm not even sure anymore.
So at the very beginning of the show?
No, it was like season 2 or 3. Season 2 or something like that.
So were they touring right away?
I wasn't with them when they first started getting out touring. I came in the mix as the trajectory started to blow up. They actually saw me open for Artie Lang, and then I ended up going out, like you said, as a promoter rep. I do concert production, and they recognized me, and then we, like, hey, you're the guy to open for Artie, and then we got cool, and then they ended up throwing me in rotation, and I started just being out there with them, doing a little bit of everything.
So they did Art Club very early on.
Yeah.
And so early on that I'll tell you something, I never told the guys this. So they booked the Impractical Joker show. And the show had already gotten big, but I had not even heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of television. So they're like, the Impractical Jokers are going to come in. And I'm like, all right, whatever. What's it going to do, 100 seats? I had no idea. And they came in, and they blew it up. And so, now they're in their club, and maybe Sal or one of them said something like, do you like the show? It was early.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love it. I love it. It's so good when you do that thing with the for you. I had no idea. Then I started watching the show. The show is ridiculously funny.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I haven't watched like every episode or anything like that, but anytime I do watch it, I do belly laugh, and I'm just like, all right, I can't. I'm with these guys all the time. I can't just watch them on the couch while they're texting me and shit. So
it's so funny.
No, yeah, it's great.
And so Sal came in separately to watch a show. I forget who, and he brought his whole family in. And I was talking to his sister, who's a real nice person, and I forget how it happened, but I said to her, "Can you name the Beatles?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I can." And she couldn't name one Beatle, and
Dung Beatle.
Not one Beatle. And then I was teasing her. I'm like, Mick, and she goes, Jagger, which made me laugh. But back to the guys and you working with them. So then they came in this summer and blew the club out for a bunch of shows, all 4 of them. And they're still the nicest guys.
Yeah.
Right? You have a favorite?
Whoever's paying me the most that week. No, they're all great. They're all great. They all got their own personalities. They're all cool. I've been working with them on their own individual projects, and then once it's like Transformers, they come together for the full arena show and an amphitheater show, and it's all good, man. They're doing great on their own too, man. It's crazy seeing Sal, being out with him on a regular, and seeing him really just crush it for an hour plus every show is amazing. And I remember watching him start to build his set, and it seems like it's pretty goddamn built now. He's killing it.
You didn't come see Murr in Bridgeport, right?
No, I was out. I think I was away with actually Sal that one. So yeah.
So we had Murr in Bridgeport by himself, and I didn't realize how much Murr has done outside the show. Yeah. He wrote 2 books. I'm about to read the first one now.
He's got a handful of
books. He gave me 2 books, and he's like an uber producer. They're all like that, but I wasn't sure how Murr's show would be. Individually, you say, well, So I've seen Murr's show alone, Sal's show alone. Joe Gatto stopped in that night.
Yeah.
And Joe did the coolest thing possible. Joe stopped in, went up on stage, goofed off. There was a table that came in, and they had one empty seat. And the woman said, I bought an extra ticket. I'm like, I'll give you your money back at the end.
Yeah.
Well, Joe came in and watched Murr's show from that seat.
Nice.
But I mean, legitimately, he wasn't trying to be part of it.
Yeah.
He just sat down and said, let me see what my friends are doing. And Murr murdered it.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the woman's like, keep the money. I don't care. But it was just so nice. So in your experience, doing the gigantic arenas, what's the biggest arena you did?
I don't know. We did one in Columbus that I think was 15,000. We did a lot of them are,
Bridgeport was how many?
I want to say 6,000 or 7,000. I'm not
I
sure.
think it was
exactly.
every bit of that. I think it was
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of them. Once you get to that threshold, the most of them, the hockey arenas that we did like legitimate NHL and NBA arenas. I think we did Oklahoma City and the new Milwaukee Bucks arena and stuff. Those are huge, man.
Were you nervous doing the first arena show?
Yes, because you had to I talk fast as it is, and you really do have to slow it down in those settings. And I kind of learned that the first 2 or 3 minutes of all of a 12 to 15 minute set that I do when I'm opening in those arenas, you are pretty much thrown away. You got to kind of figure out a way to get them into it. And if you go immediately into material, it's just going to get stepped on by ushers, and it's just huge. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things going on. They can't really hold the show in an arena that long to get the people in their seats. There's concessions. So when they hear me go on, they scurry to their seats, and it's a lot of movement, a lot of people not giving a fuck and rushing to their seats. And then I noticed that I start to really hit and get them at that 3 minute mark, 5 minute mark. And by that point, I'm already halfway through my set. And then once you start to feel that, it's a different kind of roar of laughter. Like doing a club, you just get it from every angle. Doing like the old school theaters that are like the plaster where you didn't even have microphones, turn of the century, 100-year-old theaters. You just feel the pulsating like punch of laughter from every angle. The arenas are kind of like a low roar, and you feel the wave kind of come back and forth, and you really have to slow down. I speak fast with a lot of like rapid fire kind of punches in it, and you got to slow down. You kind of got to sacrifice some punches, otherwise you're just going to step on your laugh and go into your next bit, and a lot of people aren't going to get it. And it was just something that I had to learn. It's a totally different timing. 12 minutes or 15 minutes of material is probably 8 minutes worth of real jokes,
Right.
And a real setting. But it's cool. It's a totally different thing. It's more of I personally, it's great novelty and I love it. And just to have done it is something that probably thousands of comics would love to have had the opportunity. But I still love like that old school, like the 1,500 cap old timey theaters. There's a place we just did in San Antonio, the Majestic Theater. It's one of my favorite theaters in the world. Old timey. You don't even need a PA. It's great.
And then you come and do the club, my clubs.
Yeah.
And have you done Bridgeport yet?
I've not done Bridgeport yet. I was supposed to.
So you'll get you there soon.
Yeah.
So, and then you come to a club, and that's a whole different thing altogether because there it's so fast.
Well, there you're kind of in their face. You're not up behind, like on that kind. You're kind of in the room with them. There's the elephant in the wall. Something happens, you can address it. That's the biggest thing is when you're doing a club. You could talk to the crowd. You can deviate from your set and kind of like do crowd work and talk to the people what's going on. If somebody's moving in the front of standing up, moving around, talking, people in the back and the sides of the club can probably hear that. Whereas when I'm in an arena, nobody knows what the hell. If somebody in the back 300 levels doesn't know what's going on. And sometimes you see something in an arena that's like, this is gold. I have to figure out how to incorporate this. And there's so much shit going on that you have to try to, in your mind in real time, incorporate where you're like, all right, I got to talk about this guy's shirt, or he's got gold teeth and he's 85 years old. Something that, you're like, this is fucking nuts and I got to talk about it. But we have giant iMac video walls that hang. So you got to keep an eye on the camera guy to make sure that when you go into this, he's going to be able to pick that guy up. And then kind of while you're talking about it, make sure it is showing on the screen so everybody can get it. And if it's not, you kind of just got to abort mission on it real quick and just go right back into regular material. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on while you think you're just up there riffing, or telling your jokes. You're doing your skits, as people say. Like, there's a lot of shit it's very psychological. There's a lot of shit that goes on in comedy.
And there's always, no matter what you do, even during the set, even during the Joker set, there's a lot of movement. 8,000 people there's always 100 going to the bathroom or getting a hot pretzel or fighting.
Yeah, I mean, there's
girlfriend.
tons of distractions. There's signs and people holding up signs. And there's stuff that you didn't even like. I didn't know was going on from the stage. They might not know what's going on from the stage. Like it's a different animal. Like I don't know that comedy is better or meant to be in that setting. I mean, again, I'm so grateful that I've had those opportunities, and I would love to continue to have those opportunities. But it's just a totally different dynamic. Like there's still something that I love. The intimacy of being able to just step outside of your material box and just fuck around, do what, you just riff, you go up there and sometimes I've seen you not even do material. You just kind of riff with the crowd and fuck
I'm
around.
always having fun. Yeah,
have a good time.
I want to have fun.
Yeah.
So let me ask something. So do you fly in the plane with those guys?
Yeah. We've done a bunch. We've done a handful of bus tours. We've done,
So let's do the bus tour first. You're on a bus tour. The 4 jokers are in the same bus you're in?
It depends. It depends on the routing. It depends on who everybody's out with. Sometimes it depends on how long the run is. We've had a couple times where we've had early buses and late buses because some people want to get up later or leave earlier, whatever. So you kind of jump on different buses, and it's not a big crew with us. So we kind of just have different bunks on. It's not your typical like.
Is it fun?
It's great. It's phenomenal.
The bus tour is fun.
Some of the most I've almost pissed and teared. I've had secretions from every angle, just laughing my ass off on some of those bus tours, just hanging.
Because that's whatever happening.
What's that?
What's happening on the bus?
Oh, it's just fucking around, bullshitting,
Right.
just having fun, just hanging,
Lot of
watching
drugs?
movies. No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding with the drug question.
No, we don't.
So
We're like old men, we just hang out and fuck around and bullshit.
Well, that's the other thing. Those 4 particular guys,
Yeah.
when I see them at the club, they get off stage. They're all work.
Well, that's one of the things I learned from them, just being a fly on the wall, is especially beginning, like early on too, when they were in we were doing vans and stuff like that. And just hearing them after every show, sitting back, the 4 of them critique, go over all the material, listen to, how they said certain things while they're working out, like,
Right.
The new show and everything like that. And it just made me open my eyes to, wow, these guys are on a level they're on. And every single show they're recording and listen to it. And, I've never seen anybody write for 4 people. Like it's like a stand-up comedy show, but they're each jumping in with punchlines, off of each other's setups, which
Right.
is pretty unique. So, it's cool. You learn a lot of different things. I've learned each of their voices too. I've learned how to kind of write for somebody else and throw tags to those guys, how one guy could have a setup that another guy can jump in with a tag in his voice and kind of, here, this would be funny if they did that.
So I mean, I think everybody, like our people follow us will want to know. So how fast would the jokers fire Noah and Sophia?
I don't think they would fire anybody like that, man. They're really nice. They definitely wouldn't
Look at Sophia, just so
push Sophia in the direction of saying that the women shouldn't be in office.
easy. Sophia has a women's temperance march tomorrow morning. All right, so the thing is, so the bus tours are fun. You're on a bus 2 weeks a week. What is it?
It would be 2 weeks or a week. We would do like 1 or 2.
And you have kids.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff was Weekend Warrior, 2, 3, 4 days out. And then twice a year, once a year, we would do a 1 or 2 week bus tour. And it was, you do feel, I mean, my hat is off to any bands or crew. I know a lot of bands and stuff that are on the road. They tell me they're out on the road for months and months at a time. And I mean, I couldn't do that. If it wasn't with these guys or with the setting we were in and the situation we were in, once you hit that 6, 7, 8 day on the road and mark, you kind of you feel everybody kind of get a little homesick, especially, Joe had kids, I have kids, and you start to feel it,
So you're out.
And you're in different time zones and shit, and you're trying to catch up, and your wife's like, oh, so you didn't call us, and I'm like, oh, I looked at the clock and I realized I'm doing we're in West Coast, you're here, I'm trying to figure it out, and by the time I had a minute, kids are in bed, so I get homesick a lot on the road, especially when I'm in a hotel by myself.
Listen, I would love to have the experience, but I would probably, halfway through just, so you gotta go.
Well, the big payoff is that when you're doing these shows, I always try to stay in the moment, but I'm also I try to really think even when people tell me about my kids, like, oh, your kids are going to grow up so fast, I never try to take it for granted. I'm always like, you know what? This is true. You're a person of wisdom. You're somebody that has been around longer than me. You have more life experience, not like Sophia that acts like she knows it all at 17 years old.
Yeah.
I take this shit in, right? But I'm like, listen, yeah, I don't ever want to take it for granted. And then you live through those moments and you go, you know what? I was wise to do that because I realized that it does go quickly. So when I'm on the road like this and I hear people that are a little older, some of my peers will go, dude, enjoy it while it's there. Enjoy it while you can, enjoy it, because who knows? They've seen a lot of guys that I've seen come up and down, and I'm trying to really take it all in while it's there and enjoy it. And I'll miss it. I'll miss it when I know that I don't have the opportunities to do arenas and amphitheaters anymore. I'll still enjoy the journey that I'm on. I love doing, I'll do VFWs and if you guys got a Kwanzaa,
well, I was going to tell you, I'm doing
VFW Christmas parties, whatever you guys got, bar mitzvahs.
I was going to tell you, I'm doing a tour of brew pubs in Somerset County.
Are you really? I was going to say, sounds promising.
No. We all want that. We all want to be able to go to tour and do a bunch of stuff and
but you do. But that's the other thing too, is you do, and then when you're out there, you're like, I finally got what I want. And it's great. The shows are what keep you in it because the shows are phenomenal. Their fans are phenomenal. The crowds are great. You get like this, you're a rock star on stage for a few minutes. You see all the hits on social media and everybody's, people are taking pictures with you and it's great. But then once you get back to yourself and you're alone and you're on a bus or you're in a hotel room or you're just by yourself, you do start to think a lot and you're like, yeah, this is great. Nobody can ever take this from me. I've had these opportunities in my life, but my heart is home. I don't want to miss my kids,
when I opened the club, and this is not an interview about me, but when I opened the club, one of the reasons I opened the club is that I had 3 kids. And so my contemporaries were going to LA and sleeping on couches for pilot season.
Yeah.
And they're out there for 2 months at a time or whatever. And they're doing shows and, they're making connections with guys that brought them along. And I didn't, and I wouldn't have wanted to. Now, you got into a different position. You're doing arena shows with 4 great guys who are also family guys.
Yeah,
they're all the same as you and I. And if any of the Impractical Jokers, I don't care which one, it happens to see this, I will do a nicer job than Chris. I'll carry your bags. I'll do whatever you want. No, here's what I want to know. So 2 other stories, and then we'll get to some other stuff here.
Yeah.
So you've private jetted with him, right? And Noah, I'm starting to do this live, but he wants to look at me and I want to look at him. If you put that camera there, you could put me looking at him. Can you move cameras when you do this or no? Yeah. I would love to have Chris straight on looking at me and me straight on looking at Chris.
We could do the whole thing over again with an over the shoulder shot. Like,
yeah, I want some action here. So the bus tour we know about, the jet's got to be.
Yeah, I remember the first time that we actually went on a private jet, and we were all excited, we were giddy, we were taking pictures, and it's great. It's super convenient. We walked in Teterboro, and John Elway was getting on a private jet too. He was next to us, and I was like, "Oh shit, John Elway, you doing it too?" And he was just like,
"Who was John Elway?"
John Elway, yeah. But then we just walk out and we get ready to go on the jet, and then it's just weird. Like the pilots come out and they're your baggage guys. They take your bags and they put them, and you're like, "Nah, you're flying us. I should probably be doing taking my own. I don't take my own bag. It's kind of heavy. What if we need to get that?
What if you hurt your
some turbulence?" But it's cool. It's a small plane. It was great. It's phenomenal. Super convenient. Literally, we had moments where we went shopping. We were in, I think, Detroit or Michigan somewhere, and we were supposed to head on a plane on this whatever time. We found some boot store, so we went in to go shopping. And I called the pilot, and I'm like, "Hey, we're still shopping. We're going to be a little bit late." And I remember him going, "Oh well, you know what? It's starting to rain a little, so I'm just going to pull the plane into the hangar and just let me know when you get here. We'll be standing by. Do you guys need any coffee or anything?" And I'm like, wow, this is pretty nuts. Imagine
that's unbelievable.
United barely even gets me on my flights that I've paid for, man.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, the plane goes up and it's a faster flight too, right? It's got to be great.
No, it's great. The private jets, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not sure if they're all like this, but I think the pilot was telling me we have to fly above commercial. So they go way up. You're up there and you see other planes like down below. Like you're literally looking down on these fuckers. You're like, look at you economy son of a bitches. I see you with your half a soda and your little thing, and
forever now I'm gonna fly doing this.
but But you see shit you're not supposed to see. Like, it freaks you out sometimes too, because you're in there and like you're not supposed to see through that front windshield. Like you see the horizon, and when they turn, you just see the horizon go up like that, and you're like, oh shit, this looks really.
That's crazy.
I'm not supposed to see this. Like, and then there's a. I remember one time there was a countdown. Like when you were coming in for landing, it was dark. They had the runway lights. We were coming in somewhere, I forget where, and you would hear it go like 1,000 feet, 800 feet, 700 feet, 600 feet, and then I remember feeling a wind gust, and all the lights as I'm looking through the pilot's window are now over here. The wind, it just pushed our little ass plane off, and both guys just did this right away, like it was nothing. 300 feet, 200 feet, and we're just like, oh shit, are we gonna hit the runway? And then they were cool about it. We hit the runway, but like there's a lot of like weird shit. We had a moment too where, and they talked about it on the last tour, but we thought we were gonna have a crash landing on the plane. The
Jesus Christ!
Pilot came back, told us we were getting 2 out of 3 lights. LEDs, and he told me, he said, we need you to sit in this seat over here. And I sat like knees to knee with one of the guys, and we had to put these harnesses on. I was like, what's the problem? And he goes, well, this is a better seat for impact. And we were like, what?
Better seat for
impact.
Who said that?
The pilot.
The pilot told you to sit in a better.
Yeah. The pilot that asked us if we want to some snacks or a soft drink and pull our bags on also told us that, hey, we might get some impact going on right now. And we were like, well, what's up? And he told us we're getting 2 out of 3 lights, which LED lights mean the 2 out of 3 landing gear, 2 out of 3 wheels were coming down. He says the other one might have come down, but we don't know. It's not locking in. It's not showing that it's locked in. And we're like, oh shit. Well, what's going to happen? He's like, we're going to circle around. We're going to look at the tower. The tower's going to let them know if they can see anything, and then we'll try it again.
This sounds so primal. The pilot going, do I have 3 wheels? That just sounds ridiculous to me.
True story. They talked about it on one of the last stories.
Even my van has a little camera I can see. Why no camera?
No cameras.
Am I the only? Do I have to work at Northrop Grumman? Do I have to work at Northrop Grumman?
They said the plane just came off the line. The plane came off the line from Harbor Freight. We're good to go.
Yeah, but I mean, why? You would retrofit.
No, yeah. Well, we were coming around. Then they told us that they saw a little bit of landing gear from the tower, but didn't know if it was locked and engaged. So we were they're like, well, we're gonna have to land because we're gonna run out of fuel. Biden might have mentioned that. They only filled a half a tank. So he was like, well, we're gonna probably come down, and if worse comes to worse, we'll ride the wing. And I remember saying, oh, that's gonna probably be some sparks, right? And he went, oh yeah. And then we were like, so have you ever done it? He said, and then he goes, I think we're going to be all right, though. And I'm like, well, have you ever how long you been doing this? He's like, 20 years. And I'm like, have you ever seen it like this? And he goes, no. And I'm like, oh, shit. So like we all get texts, like goodbye texts and stuff ready. And then it eventually lands. It hits the runway. We see as it's coming down, like fire trucks and ambulances and shit racing down the runway after us. And then we landed, and it just turned out it was a bad LED on the... But then the door opens up.
First of all, the whole story is anticlimactic, right? I wanted to hear sparks and death.
No, we're still here. I didn't die.
Thank God.
I didn't die, people. I'm alive.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, now my buddy flew me to Bridgeport.
Yeah.
In a prop plane.
My cousin lives like up the road from you as I'm driving here. He flies a prop plane.
It was great. I mean, first of all, when you drive to Bridgeport, and sometimes the traffic is just awful. And we flew above, and we looked down. I'm like, yeah, that would have been me. I would have been in that.
Yeah, the traffic.
And it was great. It went smooth as could be. And that guy is an unbelievable pilot, friend of mine, Neil Gingrich. But we didn't have anything. Nothing happened. It was a beautiful night. I mean, it's the best when it's right. And of course, in my head, we're taking off a small prop plane for no reason. And in my head, I'm hearing, long, long time ago. And so in the private jet scenario, is there a stewardess on board?
Sometimes there are. If it's a bigger plane, it's like 15, 16 people or whatever. I don't know the model numbers of them all, but there's been some like flight attendant stewardesses on that, they bring you some snacks, some little cakes or something like that, some food if you want. The smaller ones that were like 6, 8 seaters were just the pilots pretty much bust the tables for us and shit like that.
I just want you flying the plane.
Yeah.
I would clean up my own ho-ho.
That's where I was at when they're asking me, you guys need a drink? And I'm like, just keep an eye on that shit up there.
I flew a private jet.
Yeah.
I flew it.
You did?
I flew, the guy took off.
Yeah.
And I was in the plane, and dual control, and I got to steer. So it was a checkout flight out of Wall Township. Yeah. And so I call Vicky. I'm like, well, get everyone in the front yard.
Yeah.
And we're going to fly the private jet over the house, which we have done in a prop plane as well. Yeah. I've flown 3 different types of planes: single prop, dual prop, turbo, and a jet. Well, the jet, I see them, and I guess we're higher, and I can see them clearly, and they can see the jet. They can't see me. Yeah. And I got I'm turning so I can see them. Yeah. And it's dual control, and I feel him reach over, and he straightens the plane out. And I go, "Was I doing something wrong?" And calm and as matter of fact as could be, he goes, No, but if you went any further, we would have crashed. I'm like,
yeah, those guys, it's crazy how cool and calm and collected they are, man.
They're unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. So the private plane you like better than the bus, obviously.
No, I like them both. I mean, you could have,
on the bus, you watching movies?
Yeah, we're watching movies. You know, we usually load them up at the beginning of the tour with a bunch of snacks and food and everything like that. Take everything out of the green room.
And then you go to a hotel and sleep.
We did, yeah. A lot of bands and stuff don't, but
they live on the bus.
They live on the bus.
We
would do a hotel pretty much every night. Every now and then we do an overnight and sleep in the bus. But everybody, was kind of in the same boat where, we don't get great sleep.
Which one of the jokers is the biggest pig?
I don't know.
Sloppy pig. It's got to be who I think it is.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now.
Can I just say?
I don't think any of them really are. Like, we had a rule.
No one's sloppy.
Everybody had shoes off. Like, shoes couldn't walk through the bus. Like, you had to take your shoes off and leave them in like, it was like in one of the drawers in the front of the bus and stuff. Yeah, everybody was kind of clean.
Okay, I'm going to go on record right now and say that I think the sloppiest of them in terms of keeping stuff neat is Sal.
I'm going to say, I will go as far as to say absolutely not. I think, not that any of them are. I'm going to say Sal would be very meticulously clean.
I'm not saying Sal's dirty. I'm saying he's not organized.
No, I think he's very. I think he's almost OCD.
I would have went in the following order of sloppiness: Sal, Quinn, Gatto, Murr.
I don't think any of them are, man. I think.
None of them really. They're not going to watch this. What are the odds they're going to watch it? And by the way, Sal, if you are the sloppiest, I still love you.
I don't think you guys are. I think you guys are very clean, okay? I learned a thing or two from watching you. Thank you for the checks all the years.
But isn't Murr the neatest of them?
I mean, he probably dresses like in a suit, but they all dress nice. They all really think about what they're going to wear. They all
I just think
got their own style.
I think Sal looks like the kind of guy that goes through life like a pinball, bouncing off shit.
I don't know. He's pretty. He thinks things out pretty meticulously and is pretty on top of his shit.
This interview sucks.
I'm sorry, man. He's good on it.
Are you sloppy?
I'm not sloppy. I'm pretty. I try to keep things pretty tidy too, man. I get a little OCD. I see things like right now, your little notes. I want to kind of do that to you and straighten them shits out a little. Straighten your notes out a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I am mentally neat, functionally sloppy.
Really?
Up here, I want everything in its place. But functionally, I also want someone else to do it. I want, if I had a lot of money, some people I'd have 5 Teslas in a boat.
So you've got like third-party OCD. Like you want
yes.
shit right, but other people to make the shit how you want your OCDs fall into place.
I want to outsource my OCD.
Outsource your OCD.
I want to wake up and go, why am I doing that? Like I like things neat, but I don't want to do it. Sophia, can we get 2 more beers? Is that possible?
See, that was Sophia, even when I was sitting over there. No, she's 17. Come on.
Look at that kid.
You already made her not enjoy being a woman.
Huh? You want another beer?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Sophia's a cute girl, right?
She's 17. I can't even comment on that, man. What's wrong with you?
Of course you can. You make it dirty. Sophia, you have a boyfriend? You do.
There you go. See?
How old is your boyfriend?
She just made up a boyfriend like that as soon as you started hitting on her. You fuck.
Sophia, you can bring your boyfriend to the podcast if you want. You can bring him anytime. Is he a smart guy? Where is he going to college? Where?
Iona. Iona College.
I know Iona's a college. God, the number of insults I suffer. So you've done the club. You love the club, right?
Oh, your club?
Yeah.
Yeah, the club's great.
What I like is, I don't remember if I'm getting this right, but I think you came off doing an arena and then immediately did the club.
Yes, a couple times.
And then I also believe, I could be wrong, but we did that private gig
Oh yeah, I remember you called me. It was like it was at a golf course. There was no stage.
Yes.
And as I walked in, I was like, "Do you have a microphone or anything?" Because I didn't see a PA, and they were like, "Yeah, we got one." And they gave me a microphone, and I was like, well, "Where's the PA?" And they were like, "Oh," and I was like, "So I'm just gonna hold a microphone that leads to nothing." And I think they said they had speakers in the ceiling that they were gonna pipe it through, which is usually pretty terrible.
Thank you very much.
Oh, this is the other one.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But I remember going to that gig, and you had me on it, and I think I was like 15 minutes. It was about 15 minutes before the gig was supposed to start, and you called me, and I was like, oh shit! I was like, hey man, I'm en route. I'm about 10 minutes out. I'll get there. We'll be able to get the show. And you went, yeah. So let me ask you, how much time can you do? And I was like, what? And you were like, well, I didn't leave my house yet, so just try to push them off as long as you can, and then whenever you have to start the show, do the show, and do as much time as you can. And when you see me, just tap out. And I think I did like almost an hour, and then you came in, and I was like, all right, well, we're gonna keep this show moving along. And then you did one of these, and you had a phone in your ear, and you're like, you had to take a call, and I was like, all right, well, I guess let me go and just start talking to him some more. And then I brought you up, and I think you did, I don't know, an hour and change.
Yeah,
but they loved the show. It was a good show.
Can I ask you something? Like, and how long are we? We're long now, right? We're really long.
106.
We should end soon.
Sorry.
I gotta have you back. But in comedy, like, don't you think it should be that loose and that fun?
Yeah, I mean, depends. I mean, my only concern in situations like that is when you're at like a golf course, and like, I know that those aren't people just coming out to a comedy club. Those are clients that, for me, as you hiring me to do those are people that I don't want to lose a gig for you. So,
right.
So there's a little more pressure, and I don't want to be too loose on something like that. But yeah, I think comedy should be loose. It'd just be fun. I mean, that's the problem is I try to tell people right off the bat, I'm like, just have a good time tonight. The more we feed off your energy, the more you laugh, the more we're going to have fun, the better this goddamn show's going to be. I don't care what you want to cancel, what you're upset about. Let all that shit go. Sit here. Don't judge anything. Don't come with preset expectations of what you're going to be pissed off about. And let's have a good goddamn time.
Have a good time. And I think that the comics need, in many cases, to remember that.
Yes.
Because, like, I don't know. I see guys and say, hey, this has the lighting. And, we just had it. And I just don't understand that. I don't understand how it became. I don't understand a lot of things. I don't understand.
There's certain things that bother me about a show. Like I've done a cappella, like a microphone will go out. I've done whatever. I've done shows where the stage is collapsed and we keep it going. I've done shows, outside to park cars during COVID. Like it's all the things that bother me that get to me a little bit. Or like, and again, you make jokes of them because it is what it is. But like your club is great, but some clubs you go to and the servers, like they're throwing bottles, and they're breaking bottles behind the bar.
Yeah.
Or they're doing silly things like that. And those are the kinds that you're just like, come on, man, that's gonna. It really, I slow down if I know that those are going to happen, and I'm almost on edge. Like I'm going to go into this punchline from the setup now. Let me make sure nothing is going to step on it. But
there's a fine line somewhere where it has to be the. I'm talking about when things happen. I mean, like Jim Florentine and I walked into a bar in South Jersey to do a show, and we pulled in. It was all pickup trucks, and no kidding, they had rifles on their racks in the pickup trucks and shotguns and we get in there and they're shooting pool. And we walk in and Jim has the long hair at that time.
Yeah.
And we go, hey, we're the comics. And the guy walks up to a pool table. Two guys are shooting pool, and he just goes, comics are here, and he swipes all the balls off, and they put a piece of plywood on the pool table, and goes to your show.
See, but I've done shitloads of those VFWs and Elks Lodges, and truth be told, those are some of the most fun shows that you have because I know that I'm walking into a fucking saloon comedy gig, anything goes, and nobody's gonna, you're here to have fun. Nobody's gonna get offended. These are fun shows, these are great. I've been doing some college shows, and those are the ones where I get anxiety. I've done well, but I've learned that I have to go into them like, all right, guy, and I kind of just like trick them a little, like it's kind of address the elephant in the room. I'm like, this is going to be great. I get a little nervous around you college kids because I know you get really offendy and really cancely, but I think we're going to really identify with each other here. Anybody here over 20? Oh, nobody. All right. Well, I'm 42, and let's see. Anybody with kids? All right, no kid. Anybody married? Oh, anybody rent a car recently? And you start to kind of throw your exaggerations out there.
Yeah.
To the point where they're like, all right, and they're on board with you. But I feel those are the shows that give me the most anxiety. is doing college shows for. Because the thing too is I learned is one of the college promoters was telling me recently, he's like, yeah, some of these kids are 18, 19. They have sat at home. They haven't gone out for 2 years, 3 years because of COVID. They've never been to a live event before, let alone a comedy club. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. Like they have no idea what to expect or how to act or,
I'm going to tell you this and we'll close because it's a long time, right? And when you come back and do this, we'll finish this.
For sure.
Sophia, did we do a good job tonight? You're really fun to have you on too. Next week we might have Noah on if he doesn't screw up. But one of the things I will tell you is, so I'll tell you something I've seen lately, and it's really going to give you a lot of hope, I think. So, we're all at comics, love to talk about cancel culture, and of course it's annoying. But lately, I have been seeing more and more people Sophia's age and a little bit older who say, I'm not like that. Joke about whatever you want. So I think some of the younger generation is waking up and saying, hey, we're being overregulated here. So listen, we got to go. I could talk to you all night long. Any project come up you want to talk about?
I'll be in Hartford at City Steam. I don't know. Is that competitor to you? Should I not say that?
No, of course you can mention that. I did City Steam 100 years ago when it was the Brown Thompson.
Oh, all right.
And I would love to go back there.
Yeah.
Who booked you there?
Ryan, that did comics.
Who?
The guy that I'm not gonna. He's a guy. I'll tell you off air. Yeah.
Tom, I want to do the room.
Yeah.
And then of course we'll get you up in New Brunswick and in Bridgeport. What else you have going on?
I'll be out on the road with Sal again. We got some stuff coming up. I'm going to be in Chicago or right outside of Chicago, Bolingbrook, doing this place CG's, which is back up and running, and it's a great little comedy club, 150, 200 people. I did it a couple times. It's phenomenal. And then got some other stuff showing up. I got some stuff with the comedy shop in the area. I got some stuff with you coming up, so.
It's going to be great.
That's
Chris Johnston and Sophia. Did we load the picture? Sophia looked up Chris Johnson. Later on, we're going to do this. Chris, I said that we gave Sophia your name. She looked up Chris Johnson.
So that guy, I don't know him. I don't want to keep prolonging this, but he, one year he called me. He's like, "Hey, do you work for this booker?" So no. I was like, he reached out to me on social media, and then he gave me his number, and I called him, and he was like, "Yeah, I worked for that guy years ago. I worked for him maybe once this year." I was like, "Yeah, I did a bunch of work." He's like, "Well, I think I got your 1099 because it was for a lot more than what I know I got." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So we had to call the guy back, and he's like, "Yeah, I fucked up."
That's a great thing because Sophia said to me, "I looked up a guy. It's not the Chris Johnson you have."
Yeah.
And then it turned out that the other Chris Johnson.
I've gone to countless Midwest comedy clubs, and his headshot has been hanging at the venue. And then he said the same thing about me. Huh?
He's a black guy.
No, is it a different one?
There's another one. Chris Johnson is a black comic. But Sophia reached out for him.
I'm the complete opposite. We're the yin and the yang of each other. Yeah, that's not me.
You gotta show that to the camera. Can you show it real quick?
Yeah.
Can you? Again.
Yeah, there you go.
And then we'll cut it into. Can you see it good?
I mean, we look similar, I guess.
Yeah, that's the comic that Sophia talked to today for the tour.
Did you think that was me when you were talking to me and asking me questions? That's
all right,
hilarious.
so listen, real quick, here we go. You're gonna do us a favor, follow the YouTube channel, follow Facebook, Vinny Brand, Instagram, Vinny_Brand, Twitter, Vinny_Brand. Vicky will be back next week. I think I hear her upstairs, right? Is she back? Yeah. She's back. She's upstairs. This is my good friend Chris Johnson. Thank you so much for coming. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, it was great. Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Later, y'all.
That was now I gotta tell you something funny.